Hello, YouTube. We're live. Welcome to my channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. Listen, I'm just going to kind of drone on a little bit with this particular topic. A week or so ago, a couple of weeks back, this lady calls herself a doctor, went on, she did this interview with Nick Cannon a while back, and then she did this interview with Cam Newton, trying to shame these men for not marrying their baby mamas. What didn't come up in that conversation was whether those women wanted to be married or not. But what she did was accuse those women of being low function and accuse these gentlemen of being low functioning. And there's nothing but further from the truth. All the women in the internet came out against these two guys, completely ignoring the fact that women have advocated for being baby mothers without husbands for decades now, right? Especially now. You got your Ebony K. Williams. You got all these women who say they don't need a man, or they just need his sperm. So here we have two gentlemen who said, listen, you know what? I want my legacy. I want children. And so they found women who want the same. They found women who are willing to have their babies for whatever reason, as long as they're being taken care of, right? And so I don't know what makes those people low functioning when 77% of Black women in particular, by the time they're 24 years old, have babies by people they probably don't even remember the guys' names, right? They got babies all over the place. So here, two men decide to exercise their God-given right to procreate with women who are willing participants in the effort to have children. Now, the CDC does say that when a father is in the home, that's the best of all worlds for children. So I agree with that. However, when you're rich and your resources can give you access and give those kids a better life than 90% of the people in the world, I think you could compensate for the fact that you might not be in the home. Like there's blue-collar men who have to work 80 hours a week just to keep the home together. So they're not home all the time. And so it's the quality of those encounters with the children that matter. And I haven't heard any complaints for the women from neither one of these guys. Even the one that Cam has 5 kids, but 4 kids plus her, she was a baby mama before they met. So he took one of her kids in. Even her complaints are not really complaints. She wanted to be married. Cam didn't want to get married, but he's taking care of her. The biggest thing that came out was their argument over a utility bill and a car. She didn't say anything about, regretting giving him 4 children. And so from what I understand, he's paying over $10,000, $16,000 to $20,000 a month in child support to her and another woman, or another 2 women, whatever it is. And Nick Cannon spends over $3 million a year taking care of all the children that he has. Now, here's the cautionary tale. Tyrese Gibson is being taken to a cleaner by a horrible woman. A horrible woman. She found a judge to contest their prenup, and they got 1 baby, and a woman just keeps coming after him. She wants $20,000 a month as in child support, which is really a mask for her getting alimony. I'm trying to say to myself, as a married man for 37 years, I don't see why a man of means would ever marry an American woman. With the no-fault divorce, liberal judges in family court or divorce court, where they can challenge even a so-called ironclad prenup, paternity fraud. There's just so many reasons why men of means should never marry an American woman, unless 1, you'll both start out together in your early 20s, or 2, she makes more money than you. Other than that, men need to stop marrying down. So if you go on these channels and you see woman after woman after woman coming after Cam Newton, coming after Nick Cannon saying nothing about how Tyrese Gibson is getting reamed over the coals. But the truth of the matter is, with women, is basically they're not satisfied unless they could emasculate or control a man. That's it. But these men remaining unmarried, they cannot be controlled. And that bothers a lot of women. It really does. It's about control. Even that lady who was interviewing Cam Newton with her breasts almost busting out of her dress, sitting across from him, telling him he's low functioning. She's 41 years old and unmarried. And she has standards. I won't marry a man with children. It turns out her standards are probably even more than that, because all through her 20s and 30s, she couldn't find somebody to marry, a high functioning man to marry. So now she's 41 years old, still talking about her high standards, and then talking down to a man whose standards are, hey, listen, I don't want to get married, but I want children and I can afford to have them. And it turns out that they spend an awful lot of time with Cam Newton, and he's a football player. So at least 5 to 6 months out of the year, he wouldn't be available every night anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's this whole gaslighting of men making decisions for their lives. It has got to stop. And I was really disappointed in both Cam, well, not so much Nick Cannon, because he kind of told a woman where to go, because he knows her a little bit. Cam was a little bit more reserved. He gets beat up a lot when he listens to these people. But I don't see anything that these guys are doing wrong other than breaking the social construct of being a married man. And in America, being a married rich man is a dangerous proposition. Matter of fact, it's bad financial advice to tell any man to get married to an American woman or any woman under the American laws. It's not a good deal. It's not a good deal for men. It's better to have a woman that's a surrogate, or a woman, you make a deal, sign an NDA, and just make her your baby mama. That's what women in America like anyway. So, and as a married man, I hate to say that, I got daughters as well. I wish better for them. But, if they got married, it'll be good for them if they find the right guy. So they got to start out with a guy equally yoked to them, who's not really concerned about, hey, listen, why are you marrying me? You marrying me for what? My assets, or you marrying me for me? That's why I advocate that when you're young, get married, because both of y'all could grow together. But it turns out women in the West, especially black women, want men at the finish line as opposed to starting out. I'd like to think my girls ain't that way. They both have jobs. They both have money. So they'll be bringing all that stuff to the table for what it's worth. They're just trying to find the right kind of guys who are marriage-minded. Of course, nowadays, hardly anybody's marriage-minded, which is, I feel sorry for them about that. But if you're a man of means, you definitely can't get married. Not in our country. You would never know if the woman really loves you or not. Tyrese Gibson is a cautionary tale. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. So this chick was easy to finesse his ass, and that's what she did. So he's all in love and she's in business, and she actually stuck it to his ass. And it's really sad to see, because even though he's overly emotional, he's probably a great guy. He seemed like he's a great guy. He just doesn't know how to pick women, and he trusts too much, and he thought that his prenup was something that couldn't be challenged. But in America, you could challenge anything. It's up to the discretion of the judge. One misspelling, one slippery interpretation, and a judge can challenge, or a person can have anything challenged, even in a prenup. Now, should he be going through all this, being put in jail and all this? I tell you, this stuff should wake men up. Now, I'm just spitballing here, and I'm going to try to hone some skills on this one, because I really might want to talk about this again on the Black Man Unfiltered Network on Monday at 7 o'clock, because I just got sick of seeing women gaslighting black men for exercising their right to procreate outside the social construct of being married. And as a married man, I would rather my daughters be married, just like I am married for 37 years. But, everybody keeps telling me times have changed. They haven't changed the way men are. They've changed the way women are. And if you want a black woman, you got to marry them as early as possible, because if you wait till they're 30, 35 or whatever, the chances are they already have another man's baby. So if you're looking for your own legacy, not only are you looking for a woman who has means, so you don't have to marry down as a black man with money, you're looking for a woman that doesn't have anybody else's children. I mean, it's really slim pickings out there. You're looking for a woman who's sincere. You're looking for a woman who wants to be in a covenant marriage. And even with that, the laws are such that they can go against what they've said just in 5 years. With no fault divorce, they have a loaded gun pointed at your head every day. And men should definitely be afraid, because a woman could love you today and just wants your money tomorrow, and it's happening all too often. And men get nothing out of marriage. With sex, is that what we get? Children? You don't need to be married for that. How about loyalty and respect for a lifetime? How about that? Because men who marry tend to be more loyal, it turns out, than women are. It turns out that I believe men today are more loyal if they actually ask a woman to marry than vice versa. And don't give me none of this bullshit about cheating, because women cheat more than men do. Absolutely. Because they get DMs that they entertain, they do all that shit. So, we should flesh this out. It'd be nice to have a good debate about this and revisit that dreadful interview that this so-called doctor did with these two gentlemen from a man's point of view, and not just sitting down here listening to her gaslighting these guys, gaslighting the women who wanted to have their babies like those women are like streetwalkers. They weren't, so, and I'm surprised those ladies didn't come out and said anything against her either. But it'll be good to talk about this again, because it's not going to die. It's only going to get worse. And men of means got to be told as much as possible, don't marry American women, or don't get married at all. It's not a good deal. It's absolutely not a good deal. The feminists and liberals have decided that marriage should be destroyed. And maybe sometimes we should say, yeah, you won. You won. Until there's a new crop of laws, like I said, get rid of no fault divorce. That has to go. That has to go. It's a linchpin. That has to be overturned. Mandatory paternity test with jail time for a woman who's lying. That has to happen. And a way to take away the ability for judges to go against prenups that have been formed properly. That those things have to happen in order for men to be safe in a marriage. Other than that, you're not safe. And then there's got to be some other way, if a kid's over 3 or 4 years old, that it shouldn't be defaulted that women should get custody of the children. That shit needs to change as well. If she can't afford to keep the kids, then the men should keep them. It's already proven that men are better parents in the long run for kids than women alone. So, it's time for men to stand up and stop taking shit on the chin. So anyway, I want to talk more about this. Now, these are my takes, and I'm gonna have some other stuff I'd like to talk about. But I'd like to refer to Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1, because it seems like it was a prophecy that says, if you find good men of means, a lot of women want those guys. And a lot of women almost demand to have those guys take care of multiple wives. Now, I'm not for polygamy or polygyny or whatever you call it. But the standard marriage contract, I'm pretty much grandfathered in at 37 years in, because people keep telling me that. We can't find that kind of a relationship anymore. And I never believed that, because I'm just like on the YouTube streets for a little over a year, maybe 2 years. And listening to people talk, I'm finally convinced, they don't make women like my wife anymore. And maybe they don't make men like me that much either. You know what I'm saying? My daughter told me that. Uh, I guess I was flattered, but I didn't feel flattered because I felt sorry for her because I'm no great shakes. I'm just a good husband. Uh, anyway, so listen, I'm going to probably flesh this out, get some videos, sharpen my positions about Cam and my position about Nick Cannon, that these guys are not bad dudes just because they have multiple baby mamas. The number one reason why they're not is one, there's no evidence that they don't love and take care of their children. They have money, so those kids are not on the state. The women that they have these babies with didn't demand marriage, right? Or else they wouldn't have gave them the kids in the first place. And it seems like everybody's getting what they want out of this deal. The women are getting what they want. The children are being taken care of. And these two guys are free men to do what they want without women trying to control them. And that's how every black man should be. You're not supposed to be under the control of any woman. You know what I'm saying? So we need to talk about this some more. Maybe have a panel discussion with some women coming up. I'm going to flesh this out. Maybe that'll be my topic for Monday at 7 on the Black Man Unfiltered Network. And I'm not going to be too much longer with this one. I'm just spitballing right here. Anyway, R. Payne, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. Over and out.